people would want it to be. They would want that to change. However, as we go through the cases that are in court in terms of determinations and giving directions, I would want you to know that the United Alternative Government have one goal. The one goal. This is a combination of people with the same goal. The goal of ensuring that this government releases power and gives the power back to people who can be able to manage the country better. Within that particular, goal, where we have to put our eye on the ball, there are many players. There are many players in this particular, movement. And within that particular movement, they will have to sit down and come up with a common ticket. And let me tell you something, Fred. It is not optional of whether they should. No. The key word here is they must. Underline there. They must come up with a common ticket, because we know the competition we are going against, and we know what it takes to be able to, bring down that competition. It is people uniting for one purpose, and that is changing this government. So when they sit down, whatever formula, whatever timing, depending on what circumstances and legally, allowable situation, they will be able now to settle down for whoever will be able. But, Olkarao is good, as you've said, because now at least when my party leader, Gachagua, will be going onto the table, he will go to the table, with the confidence that I told you that I can be able to mobilize this region and the support of this region onto this table. Because everybody who comes to the table must bring something. I told you before, when we were having a conversation here, that it's a regional mobilization that amounts to a presidential win. So for that to happen, everybody who turns up on the table must be able to declare the support of the United Alternative Government from the regions they represent. And that is something that you can never run away from. When you hear people trying to tell you, Kenya, one people, we are one people. We are one people. Only that we are different ethnicity groups who speak different languages. It's our diversity, it's our beauty. But you cannot use it only for political expediency, trying to remind us that we should not come together over that region. Because even when the people of my region are the people who overwhelmingly supported President William Ruto. They supported him. It was still, what I would call regional mobilization. But I need to respond to Foaba. Foaba, you and your team need to drop this obsession of trying to drag in the name of Rigathi Gachagua in everything and anything. Let me tell you something, Foaba. This is a democratic country. And people representation is by whoever they want. People elect men and women of their choice. So you and Sudi cannot come and lecture the people of the mountain on who needs to represent their voice. We cannot all speak. Me as Ikua Mbote cannot speak on behalf of the community. I can speak as one of the person of the community. The community need to show that they would love me to talk on behalf of the community. At the moment, the person we want as a region, it is that who you don't want, Foaba. We want Rigathi Gachagua. Well, that is the voice we are looking for as a region. And as we combine, and I agree with you, that if the moment you get responsibility of leading a nation, you become a statesperson. You become a statesman. I have no problem with that. But you will become one having been brought and seconded by your own people. You cannot just purport that you want to participate in a presidential election and nobody knows you from the Western. Nobody knows you. That's why Sifuna is going back home and looking for partnership with people like Natembeya, who are ground mobilizers. He has to do that because he has his own identity, which he cannot and he never chose to belong to. So ODM chose, supposed to be a retired man to be their party leader. We have no problem with it. In this particular session, you've just played his voice. You've just played his opinion on matters, these by-elections. We respect it as because now he's the leader of ODM. Why is it that everybody want to convince us that Gachagua was not the right person? Right. And by the way, the people who are telling us that, Fred, they are not people from our region. They do not know reasons. They don't want to ask us the reasons why we want to be behind Rigathi Gachagua. Right. We want a voice. We want someone who can actually take up the mic and challenge the government.
We only have about 7 minutes now. So yes, allow me to give each one of you about 3 minutes for your final comments.
If any government, not only this one, if any government lacks opposition and lacks voices that critiques it, whether from inside or from outside, that government can decide to go long and nobody can actually question it. because they would just need to practice dictatorships and they can learn over their people.
And you will still have your 3 minutes.
At the moment, the loudest voice and the strongest voice as far as keeping this government at watch, because they're still in power. They're still wielding power.
Yes.
And you can see even the kind of violence they try to bring to Olkarau because of power. Otherwise, they would not have been able to bring those vigilantes in.
Thank you for that. Allow me to give...
to say, can you draw...
I'll come back to you.
Let me finish, Fred. Can you draw... Let me talk to Fwaba. Fwaba, can you now focus on how whoever it is you support can be able to retain this power next year, other than just concentrating in trying to, mudslinging in the name of Rigathi Gachagua. You succeeded to impeach him through, bribery and consolidation of numbers. What we need to ensure, let's concentrate with your house. We are putting our house in order and we are taking over power next year.
All right. Thank you, Ikua. I'll give you your 3 minutes for your final comments in a moment. Let's start with you, Fwamba. Final comments.
The good thing is that in this country, in our constitution, there's no provision for election of any kingpin of any community.